Good morning, everybody. Just give it one more minute to fill out. All right, we're waiting on one more person to join in, and then I think we'll get started here. All right, well, let's get started. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for coming out to the City of Charleston's free financial webinar. I'm excited to introduce our hosts for this webinar, Tavia Watson and Latasha Francis from Origin SC. And they're going to be sharing some knowledge about personal finance with you all today. If you guys have any questions at all, feel free to put them in the chat or to save them until the end. And I'm pretty sure that they're going to be doing a little Q&A session at the end time. But otherwise, put them in the chat and I'll try my best to answer all your questions. Also, if you would like to enter into the $100 gift card giveaway, please make sure to type out your name and your email in the chat, and we'll record that, and you'll be entered for the giveaway. So, without any more waiting, let's get right into it. Tasha and Tavia, it's all on you now, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brandon and Mindy, for having us. We again are from Origin SC, and my name is Latasha. I'm sorry, my name is Tavia.
We'll see if you guys were listening.
And my partner is Latasha. We are both HUD certified counselors at Origin SC. And some of the things that we do here at Origin is we provide workshops in the community to young adults, youth, and others, just to kind of just make them aware of different financial literacy topics and things that they may be able to do and resources that they may be able to take away to kind of just make their financial life a little better. So with that being said, we are going to touch on personal finance. Feel free to put questions in the chat. Feel free to join in if you have anything to say. But for the most part, we kind of just want to get that information out to you and kind of just make you aware of some of the things that you can start doing early on. Once again, just to tell you a little bit about where we work, we do work for Origin SC. If you can see the PowerPoint, that is our building in North Charleston. Now, Origin is a nonprofit organization, and we receive funding to do these workshops and to kind of just help people out financially. Not only that, we have a lot of, we have departments that makes up Origin as a whole. Origin has been around for a very long time, 1888, in the Charleston area, okay? So after we give you this information, if you have any, your parents or grandparents or family members that you feel can kind of just utilize our services, we wanted to share that information so you'll know exactly who we are, okay? Just to kind of tell you about our mission, every organization have a mission and a vision. And to be totally honest with you, Origin mission is to empower individuals to achieve financial and housing stability through advocacy, counseling, and education. Our vision is to help those people achieve financial and housing stability, but pretty much the same as the mission. But to kind of dive right on into what we're going to do and how we're going to get started, we want to kind of explain to you a little bit about what personal finance really is. What is personal finance? How can you relate to personal finance? It's a lot of different aspects when it comes to your personal finance, whether it's employment, budget, insurance, mortgage, your credit, of course, your salary, any deposits, investments. You don't want to leave out retirement and tax savings, debt, all of that in a whole makes up your personal finance, okay? And that's pretty much what we're going to kind of talk to you about. Personal finance is just typically about your goals and understanding all routes to do what you need to do for investment, to keeping your debt under control, whether it's purchasing a home, whether it's planning retirement, whatever your goals are, you're never too young to kind of just go in that direction as to where you want to go with your personal finance. Okay. Personal finance defines all financial decisions and activities of an individual or household, including your budgeting, including insurance, including mortgage planning or savings and retirement. So with that being said, we kind of want you to take away the fact that most young adults, you don't spend your time worrying about mortgages or investments. You pretty much, just kind of just go along with how things are and what's age appropriate. But we want to kind of get your mind rolling as to what you can do now to even start thinking about some of those things that's going to be important. I can remember being 20, 25, 30 years old and always trying to figure out, my whole thing was, how would I benefit from being an adult and being independent? But of course, to start off with your personal plan, do you have money for your plan? Have you set any money goals? Learn about managing your money. At what stage do you take, eliminate financial mistakes and promote a financial benefit for your future? These are the things that you want to start thinking about right now. Okay. Your personal finance refers to all financial decisions. Like I said, whether it's with yourself, with your family, you must take in consideration, how much you earn, how much you're budgeting, your spending habits. These decisions are generally based upon all financial risks and planning for your future. Okay. All right.
All right. So the foundation of personal finance. So the one thing you got to have when you have a budget is the most important thing is income. All right. Do you have money? Do you have money coming in? How do you earn your money? Even your allowance is considered an income. Okay. So how you learn to manage your money at an early age will really set the foundation to how you will manage your money when you are older. So learning this information is very, very important at an early age because it only sets the tone for set you up for success later. So income, it refers to the cash inflow or earnings made by individuals or families. It's a salary, wage, commission, bonuses, pension, rent, profit, or even your allowances. Remember, any income that you have coming in on a consistent basis will be considered income. So your spending, it refers to any incurred monthly expenses. So some of you will have rent or want to travel or pay towards utilities, cell phone payments, things like that. That's something that should be put and compiled on your budget every month. All right. So a budget is just writing down everything you got coming in, all your income and money coming in, and what bills that you pay going out, including any non-essential, essential needs that you spend. All right. It's just keeping up with track with your money. Savings is very important. The earlier you start saving and learning that mindset that I want to save some of my money, spend on what I need, put a little bit up in savings, and then use a little bit to play. It's kind of getting that mindset that you need to save and that you need to put something up for later is really going to be very lucrative as far as young as in your youth, because it's really going to happen, work well for you as an adult. Any investing, that's for your financial growth. That's something to definitely talk about if you have a bank account with your local banker, if you want to make some investments or looking online and making investments, but definitely talk with someone who is very knowledgeable in that area to help you make some investments. The earlier that you invest, it can make a very comfortable nest egg for you later in life. And also on insurance offers and financial security, talking about protection of that money, that financial advisor will help you on that as well. So personal finance is basics. So you have the power to manage your own money, being in control of your finances versus your finances being in control of you. Okay. So you just telling your money where to go. So you just want to understand how to plan and manage your personal finances. It's an important life skill. So the more you drill that into your mind right now, the better it is later. You could develop a financial plan, which is just a goal using financial knowledge. So some of this information that we're giving you today will also help you for planning some of your financial goals. All right. It'll show you how to establish and maintain a good credit score, invest for your future, whether you want to buy a car or a house or prepare a personal spending budget. These tools can help you do that. All right. So you want to make sure that you manage you're telling your money where to go. You're saving money and investing for your future. And whether you want to make any major purchases of buying a house or a car, pursuing a career, gaining financial security, or becoming a better money manager, understanding your finances and learning how they work and a good budget will help you get there. Have to click it. There. All right. All right. So what do you know about the following topics? Personal finance. All right, so achieving your financial goals. So obtaining resources, whether you're working or investment or whatever, or however you're bringing your income in. You want to plan and set those financial goals to achieve security. That's just security, showing that you have something put up for a rainy day. Okay, COVID-19 taught us a lot about the importance of putting something up for a rainy day. All right, spend less than what you earn. Okay, never try to outdo the person to your left or to your right. The only person that you want to be in competition with is yourself. So, and that's just being better today than you were yesterday and keeping that going. You want to make sure you're putting your money up. You have a financial goal for your money and you're telling your money where to go, but you also want to keep track of what you're spending, okay? Make sure you're keeping track of what you're spending and track of what you're saving. That's very important. If you are over 18 and you get a credit card, use it wisely. There are so many clients that we have that are in their 30s and their 40s that wish they had this knowledge and education when they were younger, and they wish they wouldn't have maxed all their cards out because it tanked their credit score. And the lowest credit score is a 350 and the highest credit score is an 850. Okay, so the higher your credit score is, the more buying power that you're going to have, the more in control of your finances that you are, and it shows creditors that you're in charge of your finances and you're doing a good job. Investing to increase wealth, that's all investment doing. And investing in yourself by making a savings is starting that investments. And then once your savings have grew over a specific amount that you wanted to get to in your financial goal, you may want to talk with an investment planner at your bank and look into investing so you can have something put up for later. Managing your risk, that's protecting your resources, and retirement, which is what we all look forward to, I believe. Absolutely, positively. So you want to put something up for later because that's one thing that we can't get around is growing older. Next. All right. So what are the difference between economics and personal finance? So that big I word that we have there, interest. The principle of interest rates for your personal finance is to get the best interest rates. Okay, so it's kind of the opposite of a credit score. You want the highest credit score to be considered financially responsible, but your interest rates, you want them very low to get the best payments. Okay, so the lower the interest rates, single digits interest rates, the better it is for the consumer, which is you. Single digits. That way it's better for you, the consumer. That means that that's going to manage how much you're going to pay back a month. And when your interest rates are lower, the lower your payments are going to be. Okay. So a little bit of example that we have on there. It says you might be making 10% a year, but if you're paying 33% on an old credit card, it's just ridiculous. And that's one thing about the credit card is that's one form of a loan that is going to be one of your higher interest rates. Okay. Right. So before you just decide to apply for credit card just because you got the offer, don't do that. Sit down and talk with someone who's knowledgeable about finances, about what's a good offer for you. Just getting a bunch of credit cards and racking it up is not a good idea for your credit score, to build your credit score, especially. There's a lot of other factors that come into play with that, like your debt to income ratio and some other factors. So racking up a bunch of credit card debt is not a good idea. Taxes. we can't get away from that. They are mandatory. Okay. You pay taxes when you go to the store and you buy groceries, you buy clothes, you buy food. And if you're a working wage earner, you pay taxes out of your paycheck. So if you own a car, you're going to pay taxes, property taxes on that car. And if you own a home, you're going to pay homeowners taxes. So you're going to get to know the word taxes very well. That's something we can't get around. But that's just something collected by your local or state, national governments for individuals or businesses to cover the cost of general government services, goods, and activities. All right. You want to touch a little bit on inflation?
All right.
Which we are seeing that.
As Latasha said, there are 3 components to economics and personal wealth. Inflation is also one of it. Yeah. Okay. Inflation is the purchase power of money. In other words, it's how much money you pay for a certain amount of things that you're getting. So inflation rises over time. So you have to be prepared for it. You can't be too prepared for it,
savings,
but it is savings. Saving is the key. So you have to definitely be cognizant of the inflation. We see things that go up all the time, whether it's gas, buying a car, food. So that kind of changes your budget, you know, and that's why it's always good to budget so that when inflation do take place, you're able to modify and go with the flow of inflation. But that is something that people fail to consider. And you'll see it fluctuate too. Like sometimes you may see gas prices go down a little. But if you drive a car, you definitely will notice the inflation of gas prices, and like she said, food. But we wanted to make you aware of those 3 key components. Okay. More so than anything else, personal finance is important because it puts you in control of your financial future. And that's one thing that we are here to discuss, your financial future. Once again, it's never too early to start looking at your financial future. If you don't understand what's happening with your money, you won't be able to plan and meet your goals. On the other hand, when you have a good understanding of your finances, you can save and spend your money in such a way that your goals are achievable. The main idea of having goals is to have a plan, okay? And your plan derives from your budget. All of that ties together, okay? So you have to start off with steps. We can talk about investment, we can talk about savings and retirement, but you need to start off where it really matters first. And that's with your budget, that's with your goals, and that's what the plan of how you're going to get to your goals, okay? For example, your goals may be to purchase a car. You know, if you want to purchase a car, whether it's cash or whether it's saving for a down payment, you've got to plan what you're going to save each month or each pay period to get there. So that's a plan. And that's pretty much what we're saying. Golden rules. The golden rules is very important. Rule number 1, keep your finances organized. By getting organized, you can start to change things. When you start to watch how you're spending your money, you can start to watch how you're how it's hitting your savings. You know, over time, like people will make their savings automated, and when you go and check it, if you don't touch it, you be like, okay, it's growing. So rule number 1, once again, is keep your finances organized. Rule number 2, once again, spend less than what you're earning. Okay, when your budget is not lining up, you got to figure out why. You know, maybe you need to cut some expenses, maybe you need to modify some things. Make more income. But the amount of money you can cut out from your budget will also have a lower limit. You can't avoid food costs and rent, but you can kind of avoid how you spend your money on groceries, you know, overspending, okay? Rule number 3, save and invest for future. You know, if you know, like I said, if you know that your plan is to make a big purchase, or you got to plan for it. You got to save for it. If your plan is to move out and get an apartment, whatever your plan is, you still got to save and you got to prepare for it. While there are so many different views on how you should invest your money and what type of returns you will get, you're going to get it. It's common advice to start saving and investing for whatever, just imagine if you just start saving now for retirement, putting a little aside. And when you get to that age, how comfortable you will be knowing that you are able to live, Rule number 4, start by avoiding and eliminating high interest debt like credit cards, personal loans, car loans. There are a lot of predatory lending in the community. And I have to assure you and tell you and make you aware of, it's so easy to obtain. It's so easy to get loans, finance company, title loans, checking and cashing establishments, pawn shops, payday loans, predatory lending. They're easy to get, but they're hard to pay back. Okay. Be very cognizant, be very aware of the interest rates. So that you won't get yourself caught up in that way of predatory lending. Okay. Rule number 5, set goals for yourself. Okay. Whether it's personal, financial, whatever it is, remember to make goals that are important to you and your family. We all have different versions of values. We all have different morals. We all have different things that we do in life that kind of connects our own individualized goals. But make sure whatever goals you set your priority with what that goal is. For example, if housing, car payment, clothes, in shelter, all that stuff is priority for you, understand your priority of what's important in your life as far as living and knowing where your money is going. All right, quiz time. And we just put these questions out there to kind of just get you to thinking. But before we move forward, do we have any questions in the chat, Brandon?
We've had a couple. Let's see. Mary Peterson asked, "What is a credit score?" I sent her a message back.
You sent her a message back? Okay.
Besides that, I don't see any. Just how can I reach my financial goals? Also for Mary Peterson.
Okay. Okay.
And how do I know the best interest rate? That too.
Okay. Interest rates. What? First of all, let's talk about the interest rate. One thing for sure, and two for certain, as Latasha mentioned, the lower the interest rates are better for when you're paying back any type of loan or credit cards. So a lot of credit cards, you will see that their interest rates are double, 29%, 27%. The key to that is to not max those credit cards out, so you won't have to pay a whole lot back in interest. Use it responsibly. A lot of times you want to kind of go with things with zero interest or very low, so the payback won't be as much. So once again, the lower interest rates on anything, cars, and you have to shop around to see, because not all people will be able to provide you the same interest rate. Some people may provide you a higher interest rate than others, but which one are you going to go with? You're going to go with the lower interest rate always. So the key to that is don't always go with the first offer. Understand what you're getting yourself into before you sign anything.
The credit score.
As far as credit scores, because I know that you talked a little bit on that. But your credit score pretty much is your financial portfolio. It kind of tells you exactly what you're doing financially. It paints a picture as far as your history. Paying bills. How well are you paying bills? Are you paying it on time? How much debt or how much money are you using? So all that kind of goes into your credit score. But more so than anything else, your credit score comes in, there's different credit, what I'm trying to say, bureaus. There's 3 credit bureaus. Well, there's a whole lot more, but there's 3 that we use that generates a credit score, which is Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. Now, the reason why you get all 3 scores is because not all creditors report to each credit bureau. So you have to look at each credit bureau and what they're scoring you individually to see what you need to do. But the key to that is paying all your accounts on time,
Yes.
not maxing out any credit cards or finance loans, being responsible,
$500.
having discipline. Discipline is important when it comes down to your credit. And also monitoring your credit, being able to monitor what's on there, to make sure that all things that's on your credit is pretty much accurate and is yours. You have to definitely take accountability for all aspects of your credit.
Annual credit free.
You can get a credit report from annualcreditreport.com for free. And it's always good when in doubt, have any questions, be able to use your resources of contacting like Origin, a HUD certified agency that's able to direct you in the right resources or direct you in the right way when it comes to your credit and any questions you may have.
So if they have a credit card of $500 limit,
All right.
you can keep it under $100 or less.
So say, for example, like Latasha said, if you have a credit score, a
card.
credit card and your credit limit is 500, the key to that is keeping your balance low, under 150. You don't want to max your credit cards out, because now you start getting into credit utilization. And then that's another aspect of why your credit score could, drop or not have such a good credit score. So there's a lot of different components that goes along with credit, but the tips that we can send you to just have in your back pocket and your financial pocket would be to help you along the way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We got quiz notes.
All right. Let's see here with our questions. All right. First question. The first step for financial planning is it A, determining and evaluating choices, organizing financial resources to achieve financial goals, prioritizing choice to make money go as far as possible, or avoiding money worries by eliminating careless and wasteful spending? All of these answers pretty much could be right. But we're looking for the answer that is more so the first step of financial planning.
Are there any answers in the chat?
Any answers in the chat, Brandon?
Let's see. We got 2 B's.
2 B's.
Anyone else put your answers in the chat, what you think the answer of this question is? We got an A, another B,
Okay.
B, A, more B's and A's.
More
We
B's
got
and
one
A's.
D, another A.
What do you think it is?
B? I think it's E. Spend all your money.
It is actually B.
It is.
Organizing financial
B.
resources to achieve financial goals. Okay.
Very nice.
Next question. A blueprint or plan for managing all aspects of a person's money is called a focus plan, financial planning, architectural management, and undesirable financial burden.
We know
That should be pretty easy.
We know what our adults would say.
Right.
We got a lot of B's.
Blueprint or plan, B. Yeah, absolutely.
That's right.
Financial planning is so important. Yes. And once again, you can start as early as you can, yes. Really.
Yes.
Okay.
Good job, guys.
Last one. When interest rates are high, the average consumer or customer will do what? Buy less, not spend money, not change spending patterns, buy nothing at all, or save less. What would you do with an interest rates high? What should you do, the average consumer?
These are good, yeah.
What do you think?
I don't need to buy that.
Got lots of A's, a couple D's.
It's definitely buy less. Buy less,
Yes.
Look at what it is these interest rates are doing and see exactly, for one, prioritize. Do you need it? Understand your needs versus your wants. So that is definitely that.
Some people are saying A and D.
No, hit it.
Buy nothing at all.
Could be
Save less. No, you want to save
more. And save more, save more. You always want to save more.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Once again, questions and answers. Questions and answers.
If you have any questions, I'll put them in the chat.
We'll talk a little bit about earning extra. So you always want to look at seeking new sources of income. If you don't have any money right now, it's summertime. Some people may want to cut yards. That's a way of obtaining money. Some people know how to do hair or nails. That's a way of obtaining money and saving money. Washing cars, walking dogs, or whatever. If you say, I don't have any income, but I want to learn how to start generating income, but I may not be old enough to work in a wage earner position, then you should look at other ways of that you can make money, as far as what you have a gift or a talent or a niche for, and look at still writing down what that budget is, how much you have coming in. Just don't go spend it all. Don't go spend it all, but save some of it and have a plan so that when you do, let's say school comes back up and you want to buy those shoes, or you want to buy or get your hair done or nails done for school, or you want to buy those outfits for the first week of school. That's a way of making your own money, being financially independent, and remember, putting something up in savings and not just spending everything that you make.
All right, we got a question from George Edward. He says, between savings and investment, which one is the best to go with as a young adult?
Really both.
Really both.
Yeah.
I would definitely start out with savings first.
Yeah.
And
then once it grows,
and then
investment later.
Yeah, get in the way of being able to save a certain amount, reach that goal,
Mm-hmm.
and then modify yourself to where you could look at different, because there's different avenues of investment.
It is.
Just learning a whole lot about what to invest, where to invest,
Yeah.
whether it's stocks and bonds, whether it's different
companies
yeah. that you want to invest in. I would definitely, if investment
Mm-hmm.
is your main objection, I would not hesitate in speaking to an investor to see exactly where you want to go, a banker.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, start out with savings, and then that way, if you're interested in investing your savings, you'll have that already started to where you can kind of slide that over there.
Yeah.
So definitely don't hesitate with starting out with the savings and then seeing where that goes, and looking at your options as to how you want to invest the savings that you do have.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm talking with someone knowledgeable about that.
All right, awesome. We have a question from Alexander Portman, and he says, what is discretionary income?
Discretionary income is another form of income. So some people are regular wage earners. Some people are 1099 earners, which that just means that they're working for someone, and they get charged 1099. That might not necessarily be their employer, but they pay them wages. They also have income, what people make of a passive income. Some people are beauticians, but they don't necessarily work in a shop. Some people may cut lawns or fix watches on the side or whatever, but it's a discretionary income is really going to be income that is not necessarily taxed.
Right.
Okay. But if you make over a certain amount of discretionary income, you are to report that to the IRS. You are to report that, because if over a certain amount, I believe if it's over I think
12,000.
you must report that, because that's taxable income. So it gets in a little bit in different areas with discretionary income. It's not just like a one size fits all, because what may be discretionary for one person in one tax bracket and someone who's just cutting a couple of lawns a week may be a little bit different.
Okay.
All right, awesome. Now we have a question from Julius Smalls. He says, what should you invest in when starting out, or what is the best thing to invest in?
What is the best thing to invest in?
Yourself.
Latasha said yourself.
That would be, again, to speak with a banker. It depends on what you would like to do. Some people I've heard and we've talked with, if they consider themselves a sneakerhead, they like sneakers. Getting in some of your penny stocks or buying into some of the stocks
Right.
of things that interest you or that you like is also a good way, but a financial advisor will be able to tell you more about that. And if you have a bank account or your local bank, or if you have a checking account, savings or whatever, that's a good way to start. Even if you open up a savings, to talk with that bank about different investments and how much you should invest and when. They'll also tell you the rate of the growth. Now, that's one thing about investment, is that return is not fast. Okay, it's something that residually grows over time, and you're adding into it. But
and you have to
it's worth the
also
wait.
watch it. You have
Yeah.
to pay attention. You have to
Yes.
monitor it.
You have to
So
monitor it.
right now, I recommend, as far as investing anything, do your research on it. See exactly what's growing. See what's doing what. Before
works for your
what's
money.
working for your money before making any type of decision as far as investing in any type of stocks or bonds or rolling your money over. You basically have to be comfortable with whatever investment avenue you're taking, and know a little bit about it. Just like Latasha said, things change. Inflation is something you have to take in consideration. What's crashed over the past couple of weeks or whatever it is. But it is a good way, it's good to kind of start looking in that direction, so that whenever you go in that direction, you will know a lot about it, to where you can make your decision from that point.
Research.
Right, research.
Awesome. All right, so now Evan, kind of a related question. Evans Huddersfield asks, what are the most appropriate sectors to invest in?
Pretty much we kind of cover that too.
Food.
Food
For adults and
for
real estate.
adults, real estate,
Real estate, investment, food, stocks. Right now, oh my gosh, I would say those would be the main two if I had to choose two. But there are so many. That's such a broad question. There are so many to invest in.
A lot of people invest in what
social media.
Yeah.
There's so much. But people don't
All
know.
right.
There's a lot of stocks. You got orange juice stocks. You have food stocks. There's so many stocks out there. That's why it's good to speak with somebody knowledgeable about that, and show you how to start that and what your return looks like, and how to make your money grow, with somebody very knowledgeable in that field. I would say speak with that. I did see a question in the chat box that it says it's hard to save in an economy like this. And what I like to stress is, no matter what income that you have, if you are able to save something, okay? And some people, you have to learn to live within your means. Okay, some budgets, they're not able to make it because they can't live within their means. On the other end, yes, rent prices are high, food prices are high, interest rates are very high. So it does get pretty hard to try to navigate living and making a decent living and being able to pay your bills. But what you really have to do is you have to pay what's number one first, and that's your shelter. And you need to pay your food costs, and then you pay your utilities and medications and stuff that you may need. It depends on the priority for your house, but shelter is number one. And then you have to work your way down in your budget. So are you able to save in this economy? It depends on what you're making. But I say that answer is yes. It depends on what you're making. If your job is not paying you enough, you need to look at getting a second job or seeking some additional income. As far as the side gigs I was telling you earlier, you just have to find ways to make more money, but you will need to find a way.
All right, that's awesome. All right, the next question we have is from Kaylee Campbell. How do reverse mortgages work?
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Okay. Well,
all right. Well, reverse mortgage is where you have to be 62 years old or older with reverse mortgage to apply. So whenever you have a mortgage and your mortgage has equity in it, you can allow the equity to start paying you in that time frame. Okay. A lot of people use reverse mortgages when they are at a limited amount of income as a senior and they still want to live comfortably. So they allow the equity in their home to kind of like pay them, or basically they won't have to pay mortgage so that they can use that money for other resources. Now,
They'll still be responsible for property taxes.
they'll still be responsible for property taxes and other things related to the home. Now, the key to that is what happens after that person passes away. When that person passes away, then what transpires is that house will now then belong to the bank. So that's pretty much how it works with a reverse mortgage. We do reverse mortgage counseling, but that is something that you would definitely have to look at from a individual standpoint when it relates to, you know, your budget, your money, long term, your age, your spouse, if you have a spouse, and then make a determination as to what equity is in your home, how much money you can save or be able to use, and is it conducive for you to even do it?
Right. Because you will lose your home if you move out of it.
Say, for example, yeah, you will lose it. So pretty much it's where you're getting the money, but after all, the home belongs to the bank. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that's great. Next question comes in from Steve Woods. He asks, practical ways a young adult can gain passive income while in school.
Okay, we kind of touched on that as far as how young adults can, you know, side gigs, see if there's any student in school, like if they're in college, any student loan offers.
Some kids design tennis shoes.
I mean, when we was growing up, people, right now the new thing is reselling things. You know, I see people that go in and get things from consignment shops and then they resell them on the market. We did a lot of babysitting, and you know, you got to be creative, but also think about ways that, you know, it's conducive to your lifestyle and how you can make money. Make money legally, one, and not only that it's going to be able to kind of just help you out. I mean, find out if there's a paid intern that you may be able to do, internship or externship, that be able to kind of help you out and pay some things, you know.
Some people help in the beauty shops wash hair.
Sweep, you know, like I remember barbershops and, you know, just going in there and kind of just communicating and asking, is there any kind of paid work that you'll be able to do to kind of earn an honest living.
All right. Let's see what else we got. Between a fixed deposit and buying bonds, which is more preferable?
Now that would be a banker.
Now
it depends on each individual.
It really depends on each individual, but also it just depends on you know, the amount of bonds, like what, because right now bonds can be really tricky, really funny. Stocks and bonds, honestly.
Fixed bonds, fixed, so anything at a fixed rate.
Anything dealing with a fixed bond or fixed rate
is
is more better because you actually can plan for it, you know. But as far as stocks and bonds and anything of that nature, I would definitely speak to somebody who can give you an overview as to what transpired in a year's time with those bonds and stocks, and see which direction you want to go. I know when I went into review about stocks and bonds, I actually was able to see exactly over a time frame or a history of what transpired to determine which direction I wanted to go. And it made it easier for me because it painted a picture, you know, but of course things happen so quickly. So you definitely want to be able to visualize, you know, that on paper, honestly.
Yeah, and you definitely want to know any penalties, cashing out your bonds early.
Yeah, you want to be aware of any fees and
penalties.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, we got one more question from Steve Woods. He asks, is learning a skill a good idea? If so, what skills? Please enumerate.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yes, definitely. Always, this generation now is a little bit different. You need to have multiple streams of income. So whatever your gifts or talents are, if you're good, let's just say that you're a gamer, you like going there, you like playing games, you can sit at a computer for hours and play something that's in you know, that you can pay attention to. Look at doing online ads. Some people are online assistants. Okay, people are hiring online assistants where you go in and you're looking through their emails, flagging anything they need to pay attention to. You're doing their inbox, you're scheduling their online calendars. But looking online assistants. If you're good at, let's just say, doing hair, booking, your own clients, starting up your own little business. If you are able to, you've always been good at landscaping, working with a landscaper company, or even starting your own landscaping business that you can, work with your parents if you're not over 18 and getting an LLC and starting your own business with that. It just depends on what you like and what you're good at. But right now, having multiple streams of income is very important. There are some people that I know that they are licensed credit counselors,
Right.
and also a social worker, and also a counselor that does social work counseling on the side as well for more income, and then
Right.
own multiple businesses. So
Right.
I do agree having multiple streams of income is what is needed. And so if you're able to do any graphic work, and your friends may want some websites made, you could do that. If you know some friends that may want their yard cuts, or neighbors that need their yard cuts, you can do that. It's just getting what you're good at and what you like to do,
And
just
making it work for you.
yeah, making it profitable, instead of doing it for free. Just ask for a payment for it, and come up with what your fees are. And if it's your friends, don't let them talk you down out of it. Okay, that's the one thing in business. The friends and family can take your business real quick with doing favors and being underpaid.
All right, awesome. Mary Peterson asks, can young adults pay taxes?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
If you bought something with your own money in the store, you pay taxes. Now property taxes, if you don't own a house or a car, no, you're not paying it. But if you buy a house or a car, you will definitely pay those property taxes. But if you are making any purchases, you're paying taxes on your purchase.
If you are earning any type of income, then you would have
You're being taxed.
State and federal taxes that'll be taken out. Anytime that you do not have any state or federal taxes that'll be taken, that is taken out, that's when you will be assessed. You're supposed to pay into taxes with any income that you're earning.
Unless it's like your allowance or something.
Yeah, but for the most
the parents
part,
can 1099 what they want.
right. For the most part, as a young adult, as a older adult, everybody is going to at some point pay taxes. You don't want to not pay taxes, because the IRS is
they're very, very serious.
Yeah.
And very, very real.
And you don't want them, you don't want to owe them anything if you can help. You want to make sure that you're paying your taxes so that you won't be getting any extra trouble.
Exactly.
With the IRS.
Yeah, tax evasion has took down some of the most notorious people.
All right, awesome. Evan asks, how can I go about monetizing my skills?
Awesome. Just basically putting a number to it. So like, let's say if you say, I want to cut yards. So you decide what you want to charge. Some people do $60 for front and back. So, to cut someone's yard front and back, if it's an average size yard, if it's, more than a little bit bigger than an average size yard, they'll go up $10 according to how big it is. But being a business owner, you set your own rates. You set what you want, and you research what other people are charging.
Right.
And then you kind of meet somewhere in the middle.
You also, like she said, research and see what other people are charging for the same service, because you want to be able to kind of like stay within the game. You want to be able to your business to also be good when it comes back to you getting business. Okay.
Getting good service and having good prices.
Right.
Comparable prices. That's it. Yeah. So if you want to be a dog walker, which most people need a dog walker, and you're reliable and you're trustworthy, where they can leave you their key and then have you walk their dog and put the dog in when you're done, those go a long way. Word of mouth goes a long way with a good service too. So if I were you, I would research what you're thinking about doing, how much other people are charging, and then pick a number in between and run with it. It's never going to be like one size fits all right at first. Some people ended up adjusting their charges after they've gotten into it and gotten their feet wet and start making some money. Then you can adjust if needed.
All right, awesome. Mary Peterson asks, or says rather, knowing my income and expenditure is my problem.
She said knowing her income and expense. Okay, so what I believe what she might be trying to say is not knowing.
Is she a wage earner?
Yes.
Does she
Yeah.
work?
Okay. We do see where there's a lot of issues with people really not budgeting. So say, for example, if you know what your income is and you know what your fixed
Your net?
your fixed expenses are
Oh.
versus your periodic
Gotcha.
versus your
Flexibles.
you will be able to kind of stay abreast of what your budget is. Each month your budget is not going to stay the same, but if you know exactly, for example,
How
things
much
that
you
never
make,
change,
that's number one.
how much you make and how much you earn, and then
Exactly.
the expenses that don't change, your rent, your car payment,
Put those down.
you can kind of
Write it
just
down.
subtract that stuff from your budget, and then the things that may change, have that as a window to kind of just set aside. So you have to kind of like separate your budget into parts of where you be able to see what you're doing more so than anything else. It's easier when you're looking at it and you're explaining it versus just talking about it. I like to do a roadmap with people that kind of just shows you exactly where your money's going and what you may need, which direction you need to go or where to turn, how to move. I call it a roadmap with your budget. But one thing for sure and two for certain, if you're not budgeting, that's one of the barriers too. It don't matter what you make. It doesn't matter when you get your money. You need to at least be kind of having a platform where your money, how you're tracking it, how you're tracking it.
If your money is sporadic and you're not making the same amount every month and you only got a specific amount coming in, or let's just say, you may not have that many clients this month, a budget is very, very important for that, because those bills aren't going to be changed. They're going to be due on the same time, the same month, and whether you had enough clients or not. So having a budget, writing it down, writing your expenses down and seeing the income you got, that means you need to know how much more income you need to come up with that month if you didn't have enough clients, or, for people who are not wage earners or receive money on a consistent basis. So having that budget, writing all your expenses down is very, very, very important, so that if you're going to be short, if you have more than enough, and then you can make plans for the more than enough for savings or whatever. But that budget is going to be very, very important at controlling your finances and at managing your finances.
All right, awesome. We have another question from Evan, and he asks, or Evans, excuse me, what should be the priority social services for aged out kids?
I didn't get the question. What should be the
priority social services for aged out kids? I think he's trying to ask where, what social services aged out kids in the foster system should prioritize.
I think they get money when they age out.
Well, if I'm answering this correctly, I remember working for social services, and a lot of what aging out kids, what they did was the first priority was independency and securing housing. Okay.
So the money they get.
It just depends on what their but what's their plan, goal life plan is, and what, if they have any funds coming from the state or coming from government assistance, are they going to college? So we got to pretty much figure out we got to pretty much figure out where their personal goals are first, and what their plan is for continuum of care, to kind of figure out.
So the start first is to find shelter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the priority first would be living arrangements.
Mhm.
And then, any other way of, because they're aging out, where their money sources is gonna come
Getting a
from.
job.
Right.
Mhm. Getting a job, finding a place to live.
I hope they answered the question.
All right. Any more questions, guys? Anything you'd like to ask them while we're still here? Yep, he said that answered his question. Awesome. All right.
These are some
Any
great
final
questions.
questions?
All right,
All
this has
right.
been an awesome session, Brandon. Yes, thank you for so much.
Thank you very
for
much for
having
coming
me.
out, guys.
Yes, it's been our pleasure. And they have our contact information to follow up if they'd like at Origin SC. We'd be more than happy to answer any of the questions that you may have had off the session. We're more than happy to assist you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Awesome, guys. Make sure if you have any more questions or need any help at all, go check out Origin SC. And if you'd like to learn more, next week we will be having Paul Binion from Increasing Hope here to talk about credit. So that will be exciting, and a lot of information, important information will be shared then. So until then, thank you all for coming, and we'll see you guys next week.
All right. Bye, guys. Have a great day.
Bye. Have a good one, everybody.
All right.
Be great.
Bye.